Bro, I don't even know right now. I'm having every kind of difficulty just getting this stream going, but I'll be here just a second. True. It doesn't get much worse than that. Um, I believe it's picking up the fan in the background. Alright, so I'm going to test something out here in just a second. I enabled text-to-speech for tips so that I can put that up there as like $2 TTS, you know, like if somebody wants to send a message that goes text-to-speech.
Indigo donated $2. Trying out TTS.
Hey, it works. Sick. All right. All right, well, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So I think the fan is showing up, but it's very minimal. Hopefully masked by like the music or something. I'm not sure. Let me Also, I don't care what anyone says. I will take Edge over any other browser. Like, I thought previously that it was because I would have Edge open or something when I was running Streamlabs that my stuff was running super high, my resources and all that. Anyways. But I was just messing around with it a minute ago because I have YouTube Premium, YouTube Music, and so I was going to use that to run music in the background instead of in the same browser that I'm using for the stream. And I was like, why is everything running so freaking slow? It didn't make any sense. And it was Opera. Opera was making it run super slow. So, because yesterday when I was doing my kick stream and I was literally playing a game, which, you know, this is like a 7-year-old laptop, not really built for gaming. I was playing Among Us and had a browser open playing music and Streamlabs, and everything was running good. So, and I even checked, like, if I had like the VPN or anything like that running on Opera, and I do not, so that's not it either. Just runs, makes things slow. Cosmic Traveler, are you still there? I'm just curious if you can tell me if you're hearing dying, but yes, okay. Funny how you ended up getting the purple in the YouTube chat, and I ended up with green. No, I just wanted to see if you could tell me if you're hearing the fan. Because if not, then that's great. That means I can have it running for the stream. Okay. You hear the music though too, right? Like, I test all this out on my end, but I'm always super paranoid with it. Like, is this too loud? Is this too quiet? Oh, now the ticker is just like always on the screen pretty much. That's kind of cool. So I think the music is masking because my audio monitor is showing that there's definitely ambient sound from the fan. But I think the music is also masking it. Anyways, yeah, kind of a late start. No fan. Okay. Kind of a late start. I mowed today, and then I was like over there about to get a shower. Of course, my ear. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people actually have issues with their hearing. Everybody's always running around with earbuds in and stuff playing all the time. Anyways, so something really cool happened yesterday. I was doing my Twitch stream playing Warzone with a bunch of people, like, you know, friends like Pwn Star and several others. But we were playing that, and a friend of mine that I actually made on Kick, but who also streams on Twitch, randomly about halfway through my stream raided me with like 20 viewers, and it was like super awesome. I was like, this is so cool. It's the first time I've been raided. And it definitely bumped up my average viewer level, because like that's one of the things to become an affiliate or a Twitch affiliate or whatever, is you have to have an average of 3 concurrent viewers plus like 3 other things. And so I went from 1.6 to like 1.3 to like 1.6 or something like that. It helped, you know, but just in general, it's just kind of cool how that rated me 0 viewers. Yeah, so Opera is like basically what I use here to do all my stuff, right? For the stream. Actually, I wonder if I'm still logged in. And I thought, you know, that because I wanted a separate browser from like my personal browser where I'm logged into all my stuff, right? Opera runs like shit. like everybody always talks about like how great every browser that's not Edge is, and I'm sorry, like Edge runs better than anything for me. I gotta get logged in. So oh, and another cool thing, Kick, the other site that I stream on, they just changed their rules. So if you are a Kick partner, you can in fact multi-stream, which is actually really cool. A lot of the sites, if you are like essentially monetized with them, you're not allowed to multi-stream to other platforms at the same time. So you end up having to decide if it's worth it on certain platforms to be monetized or not. But yeah, but apparently Kick has decided that they want to prioritize your growth over keeping you hostage to them. So that's cool. I'm adjusting the mic, so it's probably making noise. Yeah, normally I sit here and I have the music playing over here in this tab, and I was like, you know, I could probably just have it in the background so it's separate, you know, you don't see it there as part of the stream. But then I was like, man, everything's running really slow with Edge and Opera up here. I wonder if it's because I have Edge open. No, it was Opera. Art holder, you sausage, yeah. Also, I think I need to get, you know what, while I'm here. Okay. While I'm here, Wait, stream audio. Filters, perhaps? Oh, that's what I need. Streamlabs. Streamlabs. Noise suppression. Audio input capture. Choose speaks. So this is interesting. Let's take a look, shall we? So where does it say to go? Streamlabs desktop, add audio input capture, source, choose, okay, let's see. Audio input capture. Choose speaks and set the suppression levels in between 40 and 40. I figure while nobody's here, I can mess around with this. Oh, wait. I don't know why I never thought to filter type, noise suppression, filter name, noise suppression, method speaks, low CPU. What does this say? Somewhere between 40 and 25. Let's just start at the 25 or the 30. So I wonder if that. Yo! Okay, I gotta go see how it sounds. I think I just discovered something awesome. All this time, I've had the problem of like the AC or the fan running in the background and like having to just shut them off while I'm streaming because I know it comes through and it can make it sound, you know, janky and bad. But now I can test this out. Okay, so I wonder... It still picks up a little bit of like me moving my chair around and stuff, but... Wow, this is a game changer. I had no idea you could do this. Sir. Yeah, so on my, there's an audio mixer in Streamlabs, and there's where your mic / aux is, basically whatever, oh shoot. So whatever your like input device is, right? And for some reason, I never thought to like click on the little settings cog and see what was in there. And in there is this, Streamlabs noise suppression filters. You can choose the different types of things you're trying to use it for. I can actually add other things. There's other filters on here. So there's one applied for noise suppression. There's gain, there's noise gate, compressor, limiter, expander. I don't even know necessarily what all these mean, but I will definitely be exploring them now. That's crazy. So I wonder if I can now turn my gain up. I wonder, so, oh, that is cool. That is cool. Okay, so it's still not detecting the fan. So I actually turned the gain up on my microphone, so now I can actually have it further away from me, like out of my way. Oh my god. Oh my god, this is so cool. Well, I mean, it'll still occasionally pick up, like... Okay, yeah. This is cool. This is cool. Look at me discovering how to be a freaking streamer. Now, this is epic. I'm actually putting that in Discord now. I'm like, I have discovered noise suppression. But I might turn it down just a little, just a hair, so it doesn't pick up every little movement and stuff I make. But no, this is super legit, as they say. I can't believe it. I've been using Streamlabs for like 2 years now, and had no idea that it had. I thought I had to go get like third-party software. Basically, that's the thing. I thought I would need to go get third-party software to use with my mic, and I was like, I don't want to run some other bullcrap during my stream. And this is supposed to be low CPU. I don't notice anything different, so that's good. I can rub my goatee and it doesn't pick it up. That's crazy. Crazy. So yeah, I don't know if you heard it earlier. I did a little test payment. For some reason, I can't hit my test widgets. I don't know if that has anything to do with it. But I added text to speech. So now, if anytime somebody does a tip over $2 and includes a message on it, it will pop up. Or if they don't include a message, it'll just pop up and say Rival Indigo tip $2. But if they include a message, it'll say Rival Indigo tip $2, and then it'll say like the message that went along with it. So I can rub my goatee. Well, I was doing it. I was trying it. I can go like all the way up to the mic. It doesn't hear it. That's so cool. Noise suppression. Things in life that I should not be super excited about. I suppose now up here at the top of the screen above the browser, I should put like a little thing that says that. Let's see. This has become a test stream. Add text to scene. Here we go. Wait, what? Guest name? What the heck? I don't know what that is. No. What is that? No, no, no. Delete. Yes. Guest name. Jessica? What the heck? Oh, yeah, that's right. You did follow me on YouTube. I was like, what the heck? Welcome over. Welcome over. I just discovered noise suppression. I know, it's crazy. I was sitting here because I have a fan running in my window, and it was being detected by my mic, and I'm like, this kind of sucks because I kind of want air. And I discovered that in Streamlabs you can add a filter for noise suppression so that it doesn't pick up the freaking... I've been using Streamlabs for 2 years now. Yeah, so tonight's stream is on YouTube. This is like some oranges. Yeah, like right now, like literally everybody's a mod, but that's because there's like 3 people here, so. Tonight's stream is like a chatting stream. I work in the service industry, so I go to the subreddit for server life and usually kind of just explore that and see what the stories and crap are. Let's see how that looks. Thanks, Jess. Oh, cool. It's not very huge on the screen. That works. Let's move it over here. Actually, I can center it. What's up, Bennett? Not center on screen. God damn. Nope, nope, nope. And then nobody was here, so I just started messing with stuff. Yeah, thanks, Jess. Appreciate it. All the viewers help. It makes it look like people are here. There we go. It's kind of small, I guess, but I feel like people would see that, right? People would see that. Anyways. I might actually... I don't want the screen to get too messy looking, so I think I'll just leave it like that. All good. Yeah, the thing is, 90% of this stream can just be listened to. So it totally works. Anybody that wants to listen or just have it in a tab or something like that, totally works. Because you're just basically listening to me talk or read stuff. Bennett says it's bigger in person. Yeah. That's what we all say, right? I swear, it's bigger in person. Yeah, for sure. No, you guys can totally just listen. In fact, it just decreases any talkback. How about that? I mean, granted, the interaction also helps. Like, helps move the conversations forward. That's illegal. But yeah, actually I started kind of late tonight. Tuesdays I do a bunch of mowing, like 2.5 acres, and so I finished that up, and then I ate and chilled, and then I'm like, all right, time to go get a shower. And then I'm in the shower, I'm like, oh shit, I'm supposed to be starting my stream. So I'm like running back over here getting it set up. So oops, well, I guess this is where we're going first. We do Tuesdays for this because that is Tipsy Tuesday on the subreddit Server Life. That's basically the only day of the week where people are allowed to tell their stories regarding tipping, because there's a problem with trolls on Reddit, in particular weird trolls that are like anti-tipping or whatever, right? So they want to be able to have the moderators available on a specific day to moderate those conversations. So it makes it a good day to stop in and see what's been going on for the week. And so sometimes I literally just pick a random story to look at. Sir, this is not okay. Tonight a lady comes in. From the moment she spoke, I knew what I was in for. I read that completely wrong. I knew what I was... Oh, no, that's what she said. This bothers me, though. A lot of the people that post here. From the moment she spoke, I knew what I was in for it. I think they were trying to both say what I was in for or that I was in for it. Either way. Harasses me about the menu. Why don't you have baked beans? Why don't things come with sides? They do. Why do you call it Texas BBQ if it's New England style? Laughs by herself. Her husband is silent. He's probably like, great. Have to deal with this again. Orders food. Tells me it's, quote, different, aka doesn't like it. Asks for a to-go box. Cracks a joke saying I ruined dinner when I brought the bill. Leaves me $5 along with a postcard inviting me to go to her church. Lady, there's a special place in customer hell waiting for you. Yeah. There's those people that think, like there's a difference between joking around with or whatever and the people that think that like some kind of level of being bothersome and annoying is joking around with your server. It doesn't help. Because what it does is it puts somebody like in an awkward spot where they're like, am I supposed to explain to this person why they're wrong about everything? You should go to her church one time, walk up to her and say, oh, you're that hateful bitch that came to my restaurant the other day. Make sure all her friends can hear you. Go to the church, find her and sit next to her. Talk to her the entire service about baked beans and how the church asking for money ruined the experience. Right. Pro tip, if you are advertising church or political movement, don't treat the server poorly or tip poorly. Yeah, it doesn't really help you out there. Like if somebody wants to leave their little... I'm all for that. If somebody wants to leave their little tract or political thing or whatever, I don't care. But, you know, just make a good show for it. Well, that sounds interesting. Man, last week there was this great story about this server. Like, I love it when they post the receipt with the bill, and they're like, they're showing like how well they did or whatever, you know, because that's cool to see. And it was like this $12,000 check, and they both, at the end of it all, the entire tip was like $6,000 or something like that, and after tip out, you know, tip share and stuff, so the two servers ended up pulling like $2,500 from that one party. It was like a party of like 24 or something. That's the kind of stuff I like to see. Yusef Zorlu? Subscribe? I believe that's what that said. I heard the little sound. Leave a bunch of political buttons for the opposing candidate and leave the tables after ordering $400 worth of food and leaving no tip. Hashtag political espionage. That actually, that would actually probably work, to be honest. I'm just here slowly suffocating from congestion. Good for you, Tomcat. Good for you. Oh, that's why you asked for oranges. Because anytime somebody tells me about being sick or not feeling over, I'm like, I just eat oranges. Thanks. Thanks. Actually, here, I'll help you. There you go. Okay, thanks. Alright, so we got... I mean, what else do you get paid for? Had a 30-top banquet tonight. Big extended family. Company policy... So the subscriber ones, I'm not going to look at each one, but I couldn't read that name. Arson. What? I think I'm getting spam subscriptions right now. Either way, that sound isn't like super intrusive, so that's kind of nice. So had a 30 top banquet tonight, big extended family. Company policy is 22% auto gratuity and 1 bill for parties of that size. Man, that'd be great actually. Can you imagine if everywhere was like that? I mean, in some cases, we talk about that, but in some cases you miss out on better tips because of auto gratuity, but when it's that big, a party with that much going on, you probably don't want to risk it. So, and then the 1 bill part, that's even more important. Far more important than the auto gratuity is definitely having it be 1 bill. Party starts showing up. I'm greeting, dropping waters, getting drink orders. Right away, a couple says, and we'll be on our own tab. I say, thanks for letting me know, but unfortunately, with parties of this size, I'm unable to split tabs up. Okay. I'll have it all in one tab and can take a few cards at the end of the meal, but I can't split individual items off. They seem a little annoyed, but whatever. But then that same conversation keeps happening. Every few people as they place their drink order, oh, and we'll be on our own tab. Same speech from me every time. Of course, the person who made the reservation and knows what's up is the last to arrive. You know, that might be true, and of course I'm pausing in the middle of their story, but like, you can also, like, once you get that, like, say twice, you can kind of step back from the table and kind of grab everyone's attention, be like, hey, just so y'all know, I cannot split individual items off for a party this size. It's company policy. That's how we do things. The host knows this, or, you know, something, right? But not just sit there explaining it to every individual person. At one point, I'm at the table dropping off drinks when a few of them start asking me why I can't do separate checks. Jesus. But why? I explained that it's company policy. Well, last time we were here... yeah. I understand that may have not been the case last time. I only know what my manager told me when I arrived today. Well, but like, why? Because the grown-up said so. Well, on my end, if it takes me 2 minutes to run one card and you have 15 different cards, then that's 30 minutes at least that I'm spending just swiping cards. I have other tables who will be ignored during that time, and you also don't want to sit around for 30 minutes while I run everything. Great. And then this one guy, who is particularly grumpy, hits me with, but if you can't do that, then what do you even get paid for? Oh my god. There's also that, Tomcat. I can only do that for guests I want to date. Like, no, you particular, I'll do whatever you would like. Whatever works for you. So he's like, I'm sorry, what? What do I get paid for? I'm usually one to get kind of nerdy about splitting checks. I'm the one my coworkers go to for help on it, etc. But there was no way I was losing the fight with this table. In the end, it was 22% grat, all 1 bill. One old guy swooped in with his card to get it all after the main lady had gone around asking people to Venmo her with tax. We did let them fall $40 short of their minimum. Pfft, what do I get paid for? Right. Well, maybe for serving the 30 people, taking their orders, making sure it's accurate. That, like... right, I get paid to execute company policy. That's funny. What else do you get paid for? Well, I don't know. The 15 minutes it's going to take me just to walk around and refill your waters right after I take your order. What the heck? Is this even part of the subreddit? Are face framing bangs okay if I'm told to oh, okay. Probably not. I don't know. Oh, good lord. What is this? What is this? Separate checks, please. Oh my god. Hello, Opera. Would you like to operate? Thank you. Jesus. I swear, there's gotta be something. I shut down Discord. Okay, yeah, I did shut down Discord. Discord really needs like a light setting, like not like a the color or the brightness, but like limited features and options just so you can like message and it be not as bad. Yeah, an efficiency mode or something. This is what flashlights are. No. That's not what I'm talking about. The efficiency mode, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, like literally just be able to shut down basically all other features and things that are running in its background except for basic notifications of like DMs, you know, because I basically have to completely shut it off when, like, I don't have a bad laptop. I mean, it's like 7 years old or something like that. And it was a good one when it came out. It's an HP EliteBook. Core i7 V Pro, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, I think it has 12 or 16 gigs of RAM. It's pretty nice, actually. I always forget, like, how light and thin it is when I, like, pick it up. I'm like, oh, shoot, yeah, this is, like, a nice laptop. But it's, it obviously does not have a GPU. It is obviously not, like, a gaming thing or even probably built for streaming or anything like that. So, when I'm running a browser, Streamlabs, and whatever else is going on, like, it ends up chugging down a bit. Oh yeah, I do all my stuff every single day. I check all my updates and all that. But again, like, it's running okay, like right now. Or like the other day when I was running, doing my kick stream and I had Among Us playing, like that, there's literally a video game playing and Streamlabs. But occasionally, if I like forget to turn off Discord or something, I'll be sitting here wondering why it's like slowing down, and I just go shut off Discord and boom, it's good. Counter story. On Monday at Chili's, we had a group of... I read that wrong at first. I thought it said we had group sex. Anyways, we had a group of 6. Our server was very nice. Maybe a little new, but very nice. We asked for everything on one check right from the start. Cont... ... Okay, so I'll wait for that to come in. Usual thing that happens at Chili's. The usual thing that happens at Chili's, the group sex. When our app is, yeah, hashtag server life for sure. When our appetizers came out, the girl who brought them out wasn't our server. Yeah, that's a food runner. The first thing she said was nachos with a lazy tone. They went to the other side of the table. Cont... ... Yeah, that's your food runner. She's not going to know whose nachos they are or anything like that. So that's probably normal. But, you know, I do observe that sometimes with certain servers or food runners that I work with. Not all of them, but just occasional certain ones that will be less than enthusiastic when they approach the table. I'm not a huge fan of that, especially when it's one of my tables. Waiting for the continuation of this story. So I'm looking at my stuff right now. Yeah, it's got 16 gigs of RAM at 2133 megahertz. Intel Core i7 6600 CPU at 2.6 gigahertz. Currently running at 2.81. I think it can actually go a little further. It says graphics card, but it's an onboard Intel HD Graphics 520 with 128 megabytes of onboard memory or whatever. So it's like a integrated. It's not a separate GPU. But yeah, so it's not bad, and 64-bit, Windows 10, blah, 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 SSD, blah, 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 blah. So, like, it's not a bad device at all, and it's a good... it's a good laptop. It's just, it's older, and it's obviously not built for this. We're waiting. Okay, there we go. Says she handed those to one person, and they passed them down. The tone was the issue. Obviously, she wouldn't have known. After she handed that off, she asked, anything else? Same tone. Kant, ... Yeah, I feel like anybody who's going to be doing one of the jobs where you approach the table, you need to be able to go to the table and act as if it's your table. You know, that's like how I always do it because I run a lot of food for other servers and stuff. And I feel like that's what you got to do. You got to approach the table as if they're yours so that you have the appropriate tone. But I see it. There's probably one of our food runners and a couple of our servers who I definitely have noticed if they're running to my table, just kind of walk up, hey, whose is this? And then not only that, but they'll like sit it down in a way that like bro, it's a little aggressive. Okay, so to continue Agent Tomcat's novel, she still had the other app. When another guest asked for napkins and more water, the runner slammed the mop sticks down and walked away wordlessly. Kant, ... Oh God, yeah. The ones that'll piss me off is when I'm in the alley and I hear a food runner come back and be like, so and so's table like asked me for this, and this, and I'm like, I'll tell your server. I'm like, bro, you are the server when you're standing there. What are you talking about? I do it all the time. If I run food to a table and they ask me for stuff, I'm like, oh, okay, this is now my responsibility because it was asked of me. And so I go get the stuff, unless the other server is like right there, because a lot of times we'll walk up and observe, you know, like somebody's putting the food down, so that as soon as they walk away, we can walk up and be like, everything looked good, you know, you need anything? She came back with napkins, no refills. Our server came back a few minutes later, took care of us. None of us were rude, all smiles, responding to the runner's question. Yeah, and the other server is probably annoyed because, and they may not have ever been told, but like, I don't know. Like I said, if I get asked something about a table, then I'm looking and I go, this is an interaction between me and this other person. This is a guest, a customer in the building that asked me, somebody who works here, who was just at their table. They asked me for something. So now it's my job to go get it for them. And then usually I go get it, run it back out to the table. Sometimes the server will be standing there or they'll get there as I do with like the drink or whatever, and then they look at me and they go, oh, thanks, you appreciate that, blah, blah, blah. So you build like that little extra bond with your coworkers who are like, oh, this person's got my back. And those are the ones that I give like the extra $5 at the food runners and stuff. There's a couple of them where if I've been busy and I've had a lot going on during my shift and I notice that they're like on point the whole time, I'll make sure to go throw them like $5 extra because they're already getting tipped out, right? So another little $5 on top of that. So, but you know, some people, it's just one effing soup or one effing salad, but I'm the moron. So this one is under the category of rant. Some idiots come in during lunch. Our lunch special is you get also soup or salad. Interesting. Sometimes I try to figure out what restaurant they're from. They acted like they had never heard of this concept in their life. Yes, we'll do both. No, you... Oh, yawning. Excuse me. No, you get to pick one of either. One or the other, but whatever. Yeah, so I'll take one soup and one salad. They give you a choice for one side. You just pick one. I point to our lunch menu, and I am literally using the number one finger with my hands like they are toddlers. The genius who's been talking down to me and wisecracking flips the menu around from the lunch menu to the dinner side and said, he wants this, and I've got it all wrong, and they're not wrong. I am. My first job was as a server. Oops, what did I just do? There we go. First job was as a server, so I forgive so much behavior like this. People have bad days. Oh, they do. But there's also some people that's just how they are. They're there to clock in, do the bare minimum, and clock out. Understandable in some cases. However, when it means that you're going to my table and affecting my tips, I've only disrespected 2 customers in 2 years as a cook and 5 as a delivery driver. 1 was unintentional after a bad phone call. The other, the guy was so pissed over ordering a 20 ounce instead of a 2-liter that he kicked over his bird feeder, got in my face and started screaming, told him to go back to beating his wife and left. Mind you, he was the one who ordered it wrong. Yeah. That's go back to beating your wife. Bye. A short story by Agent Tomcat. A server I worked with got fired for his attitude and threats he made. He was the reason I quit. He came back with his gang and shot the place up. It closed down a few months later. Holy crap. You said you did get in trouble, but we blacklisted him also because violent behavior is unsafe for drivers. Well, yeah, obviously. WTF, yeah. That's crazy, bro. Yeah, I feel like attitude needs to be a bigger reason why people get fired than it is. There's a Longhorn there now. Well, you know, that's good. Oh wait, yeah, Longhorn, yeah. That's the good one. I much prefer Longhorn over Texas. Much prefer. I think Longhorns, all their stuff comes out better. I feel like Texas Roadhouse is incredibly overrated. Incredibly overrated. Of course, I used to get a discount at Longhorn, which was nice. But even beyond that. Okay. So to continue. I'm not sure exactly what it is for me. I mean, I think maybe if I sat down in either one, it would be better. Like a better way to judge it. But I've taken both to go. I literally neither one in town have I ever actually sat down in and had a meal. So my experience is going and picking them up, driving them all the way home. You know, so that's 35, 40, 45 minutes or so that it sits in a to-go box on the way home. And then I eat it. And so when I have done that, I've just enjoyed the Longhorn better for whatever reason. I think part of it is actually the potato. I think that their loaded potato is fantastic, but it could also just be different too when it comes to atmosphere and presentation and all that stuff too. I might like Texas Roadhouse better, but when it's come to taking them to go, I've just enjoyed Longhorn more. Similar experience with a guy who thought I cut in front of him for a delivery, threatened to kill me threatened to kill me the next time he saw me. It was because he didn't understand dispatch computer. Jesus, dude. These people. I mean, I understand. It's high-strung stuff, right? People get stressed out. But damn. But damn. For Longhorn's atmosphere, but Texas Roadhouse food. I had a manager of Longhorn try to lecture me about my medium rare steak being was freezing cold. Medium rare is a cool what? What the heck? Medium rare is a cool okay. Yeah, well, what about the rest of the steak? You know, there's times where I will take flack, not flack necessarily, but maybe like an eye roll or something like that from like a manager. But in the end, they realize that, okay, we got to do this how they want. We will have guests that will say some of the dumbest things about like food. And so we'll try to explain it like, well, this is how we prepare this, or this is how this is made. And, you know, that's usually correct. But you'll have a guest who's like, no, blah, blah, blah. So, you know what we just do? We take it back and we fix it. Like, you obviously weren't going to eat that steak or something, right? So, like, just fix it. Yeah, I don't do Golden Corral. I don't do buffets in general. But I like sirloin, but I'll probably just go. I like sirloin, but honestly, I prefer to cook sirloin myself. That's what I've discovered. If I go to either of the steakhouses, or, you know, like Longhorn or Texas, if I go somewhere like that, I'm usually getting New York strip. But sirloin is kind of like the cheap one everyone has because they need to have a steak on the menu. So it doesn't get the best treatment, I feel like. So if I'm gonna have sirloin, it's at home. I'll just cook it myself. Yeah, his explanation doesn't explain why every other medium rare race at Longhorn was hot, or at least, yeah. Like, you're not serving cold steak. You're just not cooking it fully all the way through. Like, it doesn't make any sense. There's still a minimum internal temperature it's supposed to have. What is it, like 165 degrees or something like that? If you go to Golden Corral and think any of the... Plus, it's unlimited. Well, I'm just saying, like, when it comes to when you're cooking it, like, it has to be cooked to a minimum temperature for safe eating, or what, you know, that kind of thing. And so I believe it has to be like 165 degrees. So, like, no matter what, you're still cooking the steak. You're not leaving it cold or cool. Yeah, that's the other thought I had. They're more than likely we're using frozen steaks. We would have that happen at the other location I work at, or I worked at. They would oftentimes not prepare enough yeah, I'm gonna look it up because I believe there's a minimum safe temperature. Come on, Opera. Oh, 145. Oh, I must have been thinking like what the temp is for a certain cooking level. But yeah, we had that problem where the location I used to work at, would not prepare enough steaks or sometimes burgers as well to but to say Bennett, yeah, I think that beef, there's various ways of eating beef where basically it can almost be eaten raw, but like when you begin to cook it, it's a little bit different with like steak or something. But anyways, the location I used to work at used to not prepare enough steak or burgers, and so they would be incredibly busy, run out of the stuff that was like ready to go or thawed, like, and have to pull stuff from the freezer, and they would be like burning the outside of steaks or the outside of burgers, and then it would still be literally raw in the middle. It was G-Ross for sure. Yeah, like I said, I'm pretty sure there's definitely beef can be eaten raw, or kind of like how fish or things like that, you know, same thing. But yeah, it's just less likely for you to get sick. Whereas if you eat like raw chicken or something like that, you're probably gonna die, or feel like you're gonna die. Oh yeah, that one is a very poorly ran restaurant, but it can happen anywhere if you're like that busy and overloaded. But you got to be ready to go, right? You got to have enough stuff prepped for your day. You got to constantly be monitoring that kind of thing. And so yeah, it would be terrible. You would be handing out steaks to people that look like they were burnt, like literally just char on the outside, but they were at best rare in the middle. Oh, it was continuously happening. It was continuously happening. So this story, they're talking about telling the person how the menu works for choosing a salad or soup. And they pointed out to them, and they flipped over to the dinner side, said he wants this, and I've got it all wrong, and they're not wrong, I am. So I see you want the same exact items you told me, and I was pointing to on the lunch side, but for the dinner side price, and with no soup or salad on the house during our lunch hour. Oh, how silly of me. What a silly woman I am to offer you a lunch deal during our lunchtime on the exact items you said you wanted and throwing in free sides. You bright, intelligent man. You go right ahead and spend more money while chuckling about how silly I am and how right you are. Chuckle all the way home till you read our menu at home again. Effing genius. Edit: to all the normal customers in restaurants across America making the soup or salad fumble and either normally, good-naturedly, or nicely picking or clarifying or otherwise communicating like a human, I nor do most servers hate you. The three idiots that were talking down to me the minute they saw me, and the one who said flat out, ha ha ha, I'm not wrong, you're wrong, aha, win. I do hate you. Some of these people, I feel like I have to translate their typing. Sure, one is included, but we can do both for an upcharge is probably what I would say. Right. This is the way. You can't argue with stupid. It's a fruitless endeavor. I do that all the time. There's people who go, they'll be ordering the meal that like comes with something. They're like, oh, but I want this or whatever. And it's just an upcharge. Now, in that case, they thought it was included, but you explain that to them. Wait, what? Chili's is financing meals for customers as fast food prices get too expensive. Wait, what? This is not a thing. No, Chili's is I think they're missing the joke. Yeah, this is not happening. I don't even. When you had your first butt burger from Culver's? Right, but so what they're, I think they're missing out the thing here. This is a joke that Chili's is making because of the price of fast food. It says fast food financing. Fast food prices are out of control. Finance your fast food today because you can't eat at Chili's every day. Like the joke here is that like Chili's is literally cheaper than fast food. That's what the joke is. Stupid. I don't think they understood what was going on here. I have not actually had Culver's yet. There is one in town, but it's like it's in this stretch of the highway between town and between where I work, which is like a stretch that I don't really just drive through on a regular basis right now. So I know there's one there. I've just never been there. Based on a decade of true stories. Manager, I think the busser is high AF. The busser. Wow, guys. I'm hungry. I am hungry. Cheese curds sound really good. And I took that personal. That's funny. Tell me you serve without telling me you serve. You people. No, I actually, that's part of the reason I like serving. You guys are talking about cheese curds and root beer and butter burgers. Dang, man. We have a Freddy's too. I've not been there either. Probably because every time I drive by, the sign said something about concrete. Something about concrete, and I was like, that doesn't sound very good. Like that, like I don't like it's some sort of not dessert, I guess. I don't even know what it would be. Flavored concrete or something like that. I'm curious. Oh my god. Sitting here typing and nothing's happening. Oh, there is a thing. Okay. Freddy's concrete. So that is a thing. Interesting. One of my favorite servers ever actually didn't have a great demeanor. She was tired, but she tried. She's my favorite because when I asked for hot sauce, she asked if Tabasco was good, and I asked. Okay, cool. So that'll finish. Yeah, I just saw that, by the way. It's not a big deal. It's just the area, but still. I hate servers who hate people. There are jobs that don't require being social. Why do so many people who hate people pick a job? So most of the time, okay. I always do this devil's advocate thing. I agree. Like, I agree. You should probably be doing it, like, if you don't like people and you don't want to deal with social scenarios, you should probably pick something where you don't do that. However, I think what happens is people get into the industry or get into the position, like server or whatever, and then that is what makes them hate people. So so to that level, I go, okay, I see where that goes. I don't agree with it though, because maintain your mindset. Like, be stronger than that. Not just letting, like, oh, I have some bad experiences and people can be stupid, so I just hate people now. I'm like, what? That's why you have problems with your guests all the time, bro. So yeah, no, I agree with you. I see where the joke comes from about hating people, like when people are in service. But if people are serious about it, I'm like, okay, then you should probably at this point find a different job. Or if you're like too entrenched in this and this is where you pay your bills and stuff, fine. But I think you should probably evaluate your mindset, because it's not going to help you anyway. Like, if you have anything hotter, I'll take it. She smiled and said, got it. She brought back Melinda's Reaper sauce, and I felt yeah, I mean, that's true, but like, even in just the restaurant business, there's cook and there's prep and there's if you don't want to do those things, but you don't also want to be like fully obligated to tables and guests, there's food runner positions, or even hosts. Like, host is like the lowest IQ job in the entire service industry by far, not even close. I did it for like 6 months at Applebee's, 6 days a week on autopilot. Like, I thought it was the best thing ever, except for the money. Because I believe I was not on tip share. But like, I was basically on autopilot the whole time. I was like, cool, I just show up, clock in, and stuff happens, and then I clock out and I'm done. But like, there's options, even if you are in the restaurant business and then you're like, oh, I don't like people, I don't want to deal with this crap, then okay, there's other jobs. Like, do something else. Because now you're one of those people out there, like, quote, representing the industry or other servers and stuff, and you're out there being shitty about it, and that doesn't help any of us. Hosting and busting at the same time in the same shift because busters couldn't keep up and the host couldn't keep. Yeah, like, come on, guys. There's also a lot of restaurant, like where I work, there is a host pretty much all the time, but oftentimes because you get tired of like relying on them or dealing with them, you're just like, just send them home. We got this. Like, we're fine. Well, and also on top of that, it's the fact that, like, I don't know, I guess there's an empathetic side to it. I'm not just looking and being like, oh, more people to shuttle in and out of here and make money off of. I'm like, well, these are like people, like, sitting at a table that are here for some sort of experience. Like, think about when you go out to eat, what you're hoping to experience when you do that. You know, you want to be in a good atmosphere, be able to afford your food, have somebody who's like nice to you, you know, or at least respectful in some kind of way, treat you decently, and try to make sure your stuff's good, you know? Stop splitting my tips. So I think about that, like, with every single table. Like, it's just, that's constantly in my mind. Is like, am I making these people enjoy their time here? The most important thing to remember is all times you ate out with your family and wanted good service or were mistreated. I tell my coworkers that when they try and poorly made food. Yeah, there's that too. Right, exactly. Like, yeah, just because you're here every day and yeah, this is like mundane for you, for many of these people, or, you know, the majority of them, it's a treat to go out to eat. You know, they chose to come here instead of Burger King. Okay? Like, you gotta kind of be happy about that. That's why you have a job and why you have money in your pocket. They chose to come here, so think about that. How do you make them want to continue coming back here so you keep making money off them? Message me your cat's nudes. What the hell? People have the weirdest usernames for stuff. Anyways, a guest had me make the worst concoction I've ever made. This is probably a bartender. I read that as you need to know how to eat and deal with people. Exactly. Yep. All these people are dealing with something in some way. Oh yeah, like imagine that. Like we have regulars, a lot of regulars, and a lot of them are like retirees and they don't have anything else to do and spend their time or money on, and they're trying to get out and like enjoy something. You know, they're not doing a whole lot else. Some of them might be, but that still, it's one of those things that they're like, I hate to say it this way, but like, how many years do they have left? How many more stops at their favorite restaurant do they have left? You know, that kind of thing. And so I see that, right? And I go, this like couple that's like 70 years old or whatever, and they're coming here like every week. Does it mean I should like care less about them coming? No, because like how many more times are they going to get to do that? Or like in that case where you said growing up we literally ate at a quote nice like Olive Garden level place one time a year. There's that too. There's a lot of people where they only go out that one time or a few times a year or something, maybe, you know, because they're frugal or they just don't have the time or whatever it is. So yeah, you try to make that a good experience for those people. So I work as a beverage server at a casino and hotel. That's a good spot. That's a good job. Well, okay, I haven't done it, but the money is from what I know. I worked a day shift, which basically means I serve free coffees and juice with a few beers sprinkled in. It's chill, if not a little boring. Today, one of our stranger regulars came in. He's kind of an odd duck, a bit rambling and hard to understand, but overall harmless and a nice guy. He approached me at my station asking for an ice water. Cool, no problem. I'll do ice waters all day. As I pulled the glass, he asked for cream and sugar. I was thinking maybe he wanted to take some home. That really isn't encouraged, but I don't give a fuck. So I grabbed some packets. He then asked for 3 creams and Elvin sugars. Hey guys, there's Elvin sugars. 11 sugars in it. In it? I asked. Yep, he replied. ... In the water. I waited for him to laugh. Surely this was a misunderstanding. No, he asked for 3 creams and as many sugars as I could give him in his water, so I obliged. I put probably 10 sugar packets in this small glass when he asked for one each of our different sugar-free sweeteners too. This glass was probably a quarter full of sweeteners before I added the cream and water. He wasn't done, folks. He asked for cocktail onions. I didn't even ask him if he wanted it on the water milk. I knew what I was dealing with now. I speared 3 of them and placed it on the glass. He asked for asparagus, but I lied and said we didn't have it. I couldn't bring myself to place asparagus in sugar milk water. He drank the whole thing. What the hell? We were literally talking about that with my grandparents over Christmas. If you only see each other one time a year, how many more times will we see each other? Then my grandma got in a car wreck on the way home the day after Christmas and broke 16 bones. Damn. And was in the hospital for 2 months. Which made that talk even more... Yeah, for real. Like, you just never know. Like, in general with people, you never know, right? But, like, it's just more apparent when you see, like, older people. And sometimes those older people are going to be the ones with, like, the most particular things or the most neediness when trying to order or whatever it is. And I take my time to try and make sure I help them out with that. Kids only get so many memories. Adults only have so much stress to spare. The elderly only have so many days left. People are good. They just have problems with you. But enough being sappy. No, that's all true. Sugar grown by genuine anime elf girl. Hell yeah. Elven sugar. Obviously they meant 11, but still. What? I'm so disturbed yet so intrigued on what goes on in his mind. Men in Black, he's a roach. Run. I like it. Oh, they have problems like you. Oh, okay. I was gonna say they have problems with you. That's a level of commitment to weirdness I don't think I could ever reach. Dude's out here creating a whole new category of drinks. It's because of the drugs. They crave sugar. I've seen it. There's that, and then this is correct too. It actually happens with dementia too. That's why old Sleepy Joe liked his ice cream so much. Dementia. This guy says, when I got clean off meth, I couldn't stop eating sugary things. There was a time I ate a whole effing cake and pack of some pastry. But I do that, and I don't do drugs. I've never been big on eating stuff like that. I gained like 30 pounds in like 2 to 3 months. It's super common for recovering addicts to turn tasty food, especially ones high in fat plus sugar, because of that dopamine release. Well, the dopamine release is definitely real, and it's definitely addicting, but I just think it's funny because for me, it'll be the fact that I really don't eat during the day. I basically just go all day long, and then also, like, with work, I'm on my feet all day, and then on my weekends, you know, I spend a lot of time working out, and then like today I do the mowing. So by the time evening rolls around and I'm like hungry, like I want to eat everything. No! New info on rival. No! No! I don't do drugs. But I will take an entire cake or a box of freaking Little Debbie's, and if I don't say nope, 2 of these and the rest go away, then yeah, I'll eat the whole thing. Anymore. To be fair, sugar, like refined sugar, is made a very similar way to cocaine. Both take a plant and distill out. Yeah, I mean, that's true. That is true. I don't do drugs, but I will. What the heck? Okay, I guess caffeine is technically a drug, so I love my caffeine. I used to work at Waffle House, and this man used to come in every early morning and get a coffee cup with hot water, and he'd pour a half of a half and half, so creamer basically, in the water, and he'd drink it. Then he'd get his coffee and breakfast. One day I finally asked him, and he said that the coffee messes with his stomach, but the warm water and cream sort of coats his stomach and he's able to enjoy his cup of coffee. Interesting. Sounds like he had an ulcer when I had the beginnings to want to crave dairy, cheese, yogurt, milk, whatever. It all made the gnawing feeling not as nice. I mean, that's what like Pepto-Bismol and stuff does. It goes and coats the lining of your stomach. So I could see the chemical reasoning there, I suppose. I mean, hey, if he feels it, he feels it. It probably works. The best server I ever had. I mean, I've gotten that a few times, just thinking. Followed for a while, but first post on here. Started at a new place a few months ago. It's been such a great environment and really good money at times. But I got a story to tell. This place is a steakhouse and is priced as so. That's funny. is priced as so. One night, I get a two-top. A couple who were obviously stoned based off the dank smell. Ugh. Ugh. It's not incredibly common, but it's more common than you think. And I hate it so much. I hate when I walk out from the alley into the dining room. I'm like, oh God, please don't be my table. I had no issue with it as they were super friendly and I knew they must be ready for the munchies. First thing they order is an app for 26 oysters. Ooh, oysters. Oysters? I feel like that's going to make them sick. 13 each, $120. Amazing. After that, they both order drinks and steak dinners. Jeez, bro. Got some money. Basically, the check comes to around $300. We have great conversation throughout their dinner, and when it comes time for the bill, they pay and we say good night with many smiles. As they walk out toward the door, I notice the credit card is still hanging loose out of the checkbook. I immediately run after them and catch them in the lot. Me, hey, you forgot your credit card. Them, OMG, thank you so much. You have been the best server we have ever had, and we'll come back just because of you. Thank you so much. Me, returns inside to a $5 tip, and that's the story of me being the best server ever. Dang, $300 check too. So again, the majority of places these days have some form of tip share, and so they probably just paid to serve that table. Verbal tippers, yep. It scares me when people compliment me. True. Speaking of Drew, I mean, you could just leave YouTube open and enjoy the sound of my voice until you fall asleep. I have had people emphatically tell me how much they appreciate me delivering during a hurricane, then not tip or tip $2 on a 12-mile. Yeah, that's true. Don't forget. Don't worry, they'll forget to come back by the time. Yeah, tip share is typically somewhere around 3 to 5% in most places. I want to see if they say anything about it down here. I knew as soon as I read the title, yeah. So you have a situation like that, $300 check, then you paid a decent amount just to serve them. Oh god, this is a wall of text. I can already see all the bad punctuation and structure here. He says, that's a Benadryl, BTW. Yeah, not a benzo. So I work at a beer garden. It's a beautiful place with 2 floors, a huge backyard, and almost 400 different kinds of beer. What in the world? How are there that many beers? How are there that many beers? How many types of beer are there? Foss. Oh wait, these are beer styles. Not styles. So there's a, oh, excuse me, There's over 100 different beer styles alone. That's not including like just different types, apparently. Google, yes. Pretty much. But 400 different. So yeah, if there's like over 100 different styles, then yeah, you probably got tons of different beer. So 400 different kinds of beer. So obviously the restaurant's focus is on beer. The food is mostly pizzas and burgers. Well, yeah, that makes sense. With a few other things on the food menu. This family of 6 comes in yesterday, and I get Google. Yes, there's lots of them. I get sat with them, come up to greet them, and tell them how to use the search system to find a beer they might like, and give the whole spiel. Blah 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 blah. The matriarch of the family goes last, and oh my goodness, it was hard to keep my mouth shut while she ordered. All other 5 ordered relatively simple meals with no subs or changes. This lady, though, first she asks if we have any dessert. No, we do not. Then she asks if we have different liquor drinks besides what's on the menu. Yes, we have a fully stocked bar. What did you have in mind? Do you have frozen drinks? We don't have a blender, so only stirred drinks. So second thing we didn't have for her. Then ask if we have any steak besides the filet medallions. Oh, that actually sounds pretty good. That sounds pretty good, actually. No, we just have what's listed on the menu. Like, duh. Then proceeds to order the medallions with literally 6 different modifications. Sauce on the side, bigger salad, but not too big that falls off the plate. Tomatoes on the side, no dressing because she doesn't like vinaigrette. Do you have a Russian salad dressing? ... No. When she got to the 5th mod in her order, her whole family started scoffing and giving her the eye. It was just so extra. Ma'am, we're a beer garden, not a steakhouse. The husband paid and the rest of the time was pleasant, but damn, if we were super busy and it wasn't the start of my shift, I may have lost my patience. Lol. Like, I always find that funny when people go to a place and expect it to be something it's not. Like, what was it? We have decent amount of like dressing options, I feel like. Ranch, honey mustard, blue cheese, Thousand Islands, citrus balsamic vinaigrette, buffalo ranch, actually. Like, oil and vinegar. Hell, you could put like barbecue or some crap if you want, I guess. But like, people will sit there and be like, "Do you have French?" Like, what? French? The last time I saw French dressing was like 1993 in like a used bottle in the refrigerator. I don't understand. Who just carries French? As a server bartender, I've noticed that some customers take the opportunity to exert some level of power onto service workers that they lack in their normal lives. Others just want to get exactly what they're paying for. Yeah. I'm not ordering from a white linen kind of place. Heh, not Olive Garden. Local and privately owned is not a guarantee either. So what people don't understand, especially if they haven't like dealt with it much or worked a variety of places, local privately owned places can actually be a lot worse than corporate places to work. If because they can have a lot more cliquish behavior or favoritism. Like, you're going to have some of that in some level everywhere. The difference is, at the very least, corporate places have to pretend and be somewhat answerable for it on a policy and corporate level. For favoritism, there has to be some level of a divide. But the local place that I worked, I immediately figured out what was going on there. It was like, if you basically hadn't been there to have the owner walk you down the aisle when you're getting married, then you're probably not in the in crowd or whatever. But not Olive Garden. Best advice. Looking to get a server position. I don't have a server experience, but I do have restaurant experience. What are some good restaurants to be a server at? That's highly dependent on where it is. Not like here in Florida, it's like 8 something. Okay. Number of times people come into the pizza parlor I work at that serves the usual pizza, wings, pasta, and start asking for subs with mayo and fries and burgers and stuff. Yep, it actually sucks. Happens in some franchise places too, but less common. They're basically a family and friend cliques and anything they want, even if you've been there for... Yeah. So, like I said, there's definitely... There's pros and cons to everywhere. I just found... And I worked at a decent place. No, it's not. Florida's tipped wage is always about like 2/3 or whatever, something around 2/3 of whatever the actual minimum wage is. If they raised the tipped wage to what is Florida minimum wage now, especially because right now it still has like 1 or 2 times it's going up, because back in like 2020 people voted for a gradual raise to $15 an hour, and it was like an overtime thing where each year it went up a certain amount. I think there's still 1 or 2 more raises left in that. But if you were to raise the tipped wage to the actual state minimum wage, you'd start seeing a lot of places cutting hours and just dropping, and then not only that, but your prices would be going up all over the place. So I'm not sure what you're, because like right now it's like almost $9 an hour, 8 something or 9 or whatever for tipped wages, whereas the state minimum wage now is like, I can look it up, 13 or something. I don't remember. I have the internet. Okay, so currently it's 13. So yeah, this year in like September or November, something like that, I can't remember what it is, it'll go up again, and then next year one more time. I heard they were talking about changing it. No, it goes up with it, right? Like so it does go up each year with it, but it does stay below. Florida tipped is $9.98 an hour. Yeah. So, but even at that, I would. It sounds weird, but I'd be fine with it being lower because I don't care. If we were paid less than this, prices would be lower. We'd have more business, and we would get tipped more. Right. Oh, so no matter what, it stays 3. Okay. So yeah, when it goes up again, in September to 14, then it'll be 11 or just below, like 1090 or 1098 or something like that. It's like weird to me because it still seems kind of high, but what to say? I always hate when servers complain that their wage is so bad. I have never met a good server makes less than management. So it's not. I've never met a good server that complains about their hourly, because no, the vast majority don't care. We basically always just see the hourly as paying the taxes. That's what it does. The difference with a server making what they make versus management will gets guaranteed salary. Like that's the difference. They get a guaranteed salary and bonuses and vacation, multiple vacations sometimes, and typically full benefits, you know, dental, medical, various other things. So yeah, they may not make on like a shift or something, or like an hourly basis what we make in an hourly basis. However, the other things that they're getting for doing their job drastically outweigh that. Sometimes it's an incredible amounts of money that, like, for your average person out there, that if they have a family and kids or whatever it is, those types of benefits that a manager gets included alongside their guaranteed salary and bonuses and stuff too, because like I said, they get performance bonuses and all that too, and the vacation time. That's an incredible amount of money that you would have to spend to have dental, medical, sometimes scholarship fund, you know, all these different things that are available when you're a manager, and you can use that stuff to like take care of your family essentially. So right. No, but that's the thing. Like I said, for me, I've typically, any good server I know doesn't actually care about their hourly. They just kind of look at it as like, yeah, I get this like $100 check every couple weeks because it pays the taxes on their tips. And most of the discussions I've had with people about hourly versus tipping, for instance, the majority of your decent servers out there realize that they're making what they make because they're working a tipped position, versus, like, you would lose the majority of any kind of decent servers out there if you were saying, okay, well, you're all going to make $20 an hour now, no tips. The vast majority would probably quit and move on to something else where they can make $20 an hour and not be serving. Because it's for what you're doing and what you're dealing with guests and the frantic chaoticness of it all, and various other things that go into it, you're like, no, I want to make what I earn from somebody like handing me money for that performance. If you're just going to set me at a set wage or whatever, then I'll just go be a food runner. Why would I want to be a server? You know, or something like that. Yeah, wage insecurity and lack of benefits. Also, you gotta remember too, like, so I probably on average make hourly a lot more than many other jobs out there, but I typically also don't work as many hours as somebody like your average construction worker. Say they make 5 to 10 less dollars an hour than I do, right? Some people will be like, oh, that's crazy, the physical labor, blah. Yeah, but most of them are also working 40 plus hours a week, so they're actually pulling in considerably more money than I am in overall, like maybe not average per hour, but like overall. And 99% of them would want nothing to do with being a server either. They would rather go sit down and have a server take care of them. So it's like just different things for different people, you know? Like they would rather go do their crap 40 hours a week and make what they make and be able to come sit down and have me take care of them. Whereas on my end, I'm like, yeah, I don't really want to do that. I'm not going to make as much money overall as they do. Like many of them are pulling bank, like really good money, because they just work a lot of hours, and they sometimes get bonuses and stuff too. And they have security in it, you know, whereas I don't. I work set hours. And actually where I work right now, they're fighting for us, and I say us as in like the servers who want to work doubles and multiple shifts and stuff. But like right now, they're telling them they don't want servers working more than 4 shifts, and they don't want them doing doubles. But our management team is like, no, these are good people, they need their hours, they need to make money, and we don't have to hire as many people, etc., etc. So they're trying to hang on to it. as long as our numbers are good, basically they can get away with it. But yeah, there's insecurity in it for sure. Pizza delivery is a balance. If you hate your car, if you hate your car, you get tipped wage on the road and normal wage in the shop. You do get reimbursed for some gas and regular and repair expense, but you'll be driving 15 to 45k miles a year depending on areas and hours. Yeah. Yeah, that's a lot. A lot of miles. People that come in 10 minutes before we close. A walloping, humongous fuck you. You suck ball sacks. That is all. I'll never understand that. I'm to a point now where I probably would never go in somewhere between like 3:30 and 4:30. Just knowing that is like the transition period. You either know that the restaurant's going to be more chaotic just because some people are leaving, some people are coming on, but also just the experience of being that person who's trying to get out of there, and then at 3:40, 3:45, oh look, this family of 5 decides they want to sit with me, and I'm like, great, gotta be here an additional hour beyond when I could have left for another $10. Yay. Bought a car with 116,000 miles a year. After a year and 2 months, yeah. It's 153,000 miles. Oh, you know what? I want to check something. It says I have 3. Also, for some reason, it's on top messages. I wonder. I haven't missed anything. All messages. Suddenly, it said, "What? I have 6 people. There's 6 people here. What the heck? That's crazy." That happened to me last time. Last week, I thought the entire stream I had like 3 or 4 viewers, and I knew that like who those people were, right? And then I went to end the stream, and it like the chat in the app when I updated it, it suddenly said I had like 9 viewers, and I was like, huh? What's going on here? Yeah, in delivery, that is like 8 p.m. Morning drivers are trying to leave. If we get a late second rush, you get stuck till... Yeah, it's a lot. Alright, Bennett. Thanks for being around. Probably won't be super much longer. Might go till about 12. Like I said, I got on here late. Like, I didn't start until, like, almost 10. Like, I just started the pre-stream at, like, 9:40 or something. But... Oh, somebody responded to my comment. It just didn't show up here because it sent it to my app. Come on, Opera. Why is she so slow? So slow. Oh, they say agreed. I just don't like the corporate feel of some places, I guess. Yeah, corporate definitely has its downsides as well. In particular, when someone out in Texas makes decisions based on a bunch of... This is how I see what goes on, honestly. Bunch of yes men at their local test store. Yeah, that's how I see some. Most of these brands have like test stores or like a couple test stores near their headquarters. So for instance, when I worked at Olive Garden, Darden, they're based in like Orlando or something. And so they would do the restaurant I worked at would oftentimes be a test restaurant where you would get limited dishes or rule changes or policy changes or whatever, just various different things before anybody else did, just to kind of test them out and see how they work. And where I work now, it's the same thing, except it's not here in Florida, it's somewhere else. And so my thing is, it's like there will always be like the test stores where a bunch of people that have like all the resources they need, the perfect staffing, the perfect scheduling, veterans and good people in every position. The managers are probably, on top of all it. Like it's probably like the ideal setting. And then they test out changes or policies or food or whatever it is in that location or those specific test locations where everything's already like perfect for them. And they go, oh, that worked out great, so we're going to do that everywhere. And then everywhere else, they start telling us about it. We're like, who the F told them this was okay? Yep, I hate that shit. They determine at the test stores something works. It doesn't work at all in most stores, and specific regional needs. So I understand the idea of like having corporate uniformity for sure. Like that's fine. But you need to have like a wider variety of like where you're getting your information from about like whether something is practical or not. Like we had a plan change for something in back of house, like in the alley or something like that, where, okay, these shelves need to be here and this stuff can't go here anymore. It has to go over here. And you're like, okay, but did you try this out when something's going on? Because like their like test showed that, oh, it should take like 8 minutes or something like that to do this on a daily basis, to stock this thing or whatever it was. And it was like, yeah, but did you do that when there's like food coming up in the window and there's guests in the building and there's just like people moving, like all this other stuff, right? It's one of those things that doesn't work in practice when you test it in a sanitary environment, basically. An example is our daily area is very large. Some of our deliveries, especially on the worn back roads to country homes, takes 30 to 40 minutes. They say it should only take 25 minutes max because of testing in like Austin, Texas. Right. They're just testing the specific distance. Oh, look, we drove across town. It was perfectly fine. It was like, yeah, well, your little locations are like all over the place in completely different settings. I think they responded. I get it's funny because I'll get the alerts on my phone from the app, and so it doesn't show me them here. Oh, they just liked it. Yeah, no, for sure. Corporate has its downsides as well. In particular, when someone out in Texas makes decisions based on a bunch of yes men at their local test store that don't work in practice. It's so true, though. What was my newest achievement? Which one is this? 20 days or something like that of like, oh no, you scrolled 1,000 banana links. Your scrolling skills are becoming impressive. What the hell? Fascinating. Where's the one? Oh. Streak. Oh, one more day for the 20-day thing. But YouTube, no like, disassemble firearm. Yeah. Fishing rods. I mean, there are gun tubers, obviously. Like, I know you watch a lot of them. There also might be other places that are less strict on that kind of stuff. I'm not sure. There's other sites. I mean, there's Rumble. Rumble could definitely be an option. I don't know how Kick is about something like that. But most places are a little less strict, other than maybe Twitch, than YouTube. I think this might be the last one for the night, but we got customers that know more than you. I'm so sick and effing tired of tables telling me they do it all the time. When they request a mod, we simply do not do. I've been here since this restaurant opened, and they said we do it every Sunday. No, sir, y'all don't, because I work every single Sunday. And we're not supposed to do that mod to begin with. It's the kind of table that wears sunglasses indoors the whole time. They're here like a celebrity trying to be incognito, and sandals with crusty feet and overgrown toes. What the frick? I always loved it when people would say, "It's fine, I know the owner." I was the owner and they did not know me. Me too, I work for them. That's true too. I always offer to pass on their concerns the next time the owner and I talk. So there's definitely things that, like, we will get annoyed when someone says, "Hey, can we do this?" or do, and you're like, "Well, we don't do that," right? But then it turns out like somebody else did do that for them, right? And my thought is, okay, I do that all the time. In a sense, I will help people out with something in a way, or do something for them because, like, I'm trying to be cool with them, and I make it work. Typically it's still always within policy, but it's like something that's, you know, a little above and beyond. Or here's one. I will, if I have a table that's ordering a bunch of alcohol, I think I've said this before, like they're out for a good time, margaritas and crap all around, they're spending money, right? And the good kind, you know, we love when we sell alcohol, high margins, whatever, good for sales numbers, etc. They'll get free crap from me. They'll get free chips and salsa, because I'm like, why not? They have gone well above creating a profit bubble here on this table. They're cool. They're helping our, like I said, they're pumping up our numbers. They're getting free chips and salsa if they want it. I don't care. I'll give it to them. But I will also, and I've done different things at different restaurants for people. But I feel like you also need to sometimes explain to them if you're doing something a little bit odd that's not normally accepted, or that we don't normally do. I will often actually tell them, "Hey, look, just so you know, I did this for you guys, but the next time you come in, you may not have a server that will be willing to or know that they can do this, because it's technically not something we do. So just keep that in mind. If you come back in and it's me, I could probably do it for you again. If you come back in at somebody else, probably not." You know, that way, at least I covered, in my mind, covered my ass, covered my bases, so that I don't feel like this person's going to come in at a different time or go to a different location or something, be like, "Oh, well, they do this for us all the time." That they have it in their mind that, you know, they did say that was kind of something special, you know. Common issue. Some people ask for... I should have worn my glasses for this. Common issue. Some people ask for lightly cooked on items we can do well done, not lightly cooked because of food safety temps. Right. Which are tracked carefully. They tell me the owner said it was fine. I'm on a first name basis with the owner. It's like, really, that's crazy, man. I think you probably met the owner once. I work for the owner. I think I know what their expectations are and what they do or don't want us to do. Like, where do you come off? Actually, you know, the timing's not too bad, because 2 hours of the music here, so it's about to wrap up. Yeah, I don't mind the way the stream looks, honestly. Chat over there, browser, ticker on the bottom. Looks pretty decent. Looks pretty decent. Expanding the browser was definitely a good move, because I had it a lot smaller and like centered before, and then I moved it off to the side, and I had the chat box a lot bigger and the browser was smaller. So I think having the browser bigger, and not only that, but like when I do games, this is where it goes. Same place. It'll be the game capture there. Actually, I can give you an example. I can give you an example. I can let's turn off the opera view. Another was a visiting manager. She told me we could follow a specific process. I said we cannot. She said I do it. She said I'd do it that way or she'd contact the owner. I said, oh, I can call him, and pulled out myself to FaceTime him. She dropped it. She wanted to use She wanted to use Alfredo that wasn't thawed correctly. Oh, yeah. So this is what it looks like when I stream on Kick and I do Among Us. It'll pop up here in a second. It'll pop up here in a second. Hello. Capture the game. Stream. Stream. Oh, the game is still loading and the screen is black, so of course that's how it looks. I actually had a pretty good time. I enjoyed it. It was actually pretty fun because it offers like, okay, there's something happening on the screen. It's kind of casual. It's easy to chat through and talk about what's going on, and then there's like the interaction with the other players and things like that. So it works out. But yeah, this is what it looks like when I stream Among Us on Kick. Pretty cool. Yeah, and it works pretty good. It actually works good. Like with Opera closed, I would pull up YouTube Music on my Edge, and the cool thing on Kick is apparently it seems like they don't care about copyright music because they don't have like the same kind of system and stuff that YouTube does. So when I'm streaming over there, like literally when I did my first Kick stream, I just had Linkin Park playing in the background quietly the whole time. So but it's nice to use the option of my YouTube Music on there to play music in the background without having to do it on the browser here. But anyways, go ahead and shut that down. I just turned off the chat box for some reason. I don't know why I just did that. There we go. So, either who, I'm gonna shut this down. And I might start, I may end up doing more streams on YouTube, because at this point, like I was originally planning to do Tuesday night, do the service industry chat, and then Wednesday night was going to be Warzone, and then I was going to do like another day of Kick, which I've already done that, but like somewhere else in the week. It was going to be like 3 streams. Now it's to a point where I'm like doing like 3 or 4 nights of gaming on Twitch. And so I want to have like sorted out a little bit to where I'm doing 2 or 3 nights of gaming on Twitch, a couple nights possibly of Kick, and then a couple nights of YouTube. Like honestly at this point it might end up being 6 days a week. So yeah. But either way, let's go ahead and shut it down, and I will be on Twitch tomorrow night streaming Warzone, possibly playing with some friends, but I'll be doing that about 8:30ish is when I should be starting Eastern time, and then possibly for a couple nights, but definitely tomorrow night, and then there may be other nights after that, and then something on Kick as well. So anyways, if you are here, appreciate you. Drop a like, subscribe, all that kind of good stuff. But we'll see you next time here on YouTube, and then elsewhere for sure. I post on Twitter whenever I'm going to be streaming and where and what I'm going to do. So follow me there. Twitter, Instagram, Kick, TikTok. I haven't done anything there, but I'm on TikTok. And of course here on YouTube.